escape from the team. Call the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you, coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Friday, October the 10th. Got a great ball game tonight with Detroit and Seattle. We've also got 3 college football games to look at. Game 4 of the WNBA Finals. Don't want to bury it, but that is 3-0. And we've got some NBA preseason to look at. And in fact, it's halftime. If you're not watching, what are you doing? It's halftime. And man, the Brooklyn Nets are putting it down on the Phoenix Suns right now. 71-56 over in Macau. So we got a little action this morning to watch. But the Nets, like I said, the Nets in this game, Joe Tsai, he's kind of maybe the home team a little bit with Brooklyn. You got Tsai over there owning the Nets, and he's kind of from the Bay Area too, but in La Jolla. But Nets here putting it down right now on Phoenix. They were they were 5.5-point underdogs. The Suns were a runaway favorite in this game. Seemed pretty bizarre there, right? Anyways, hope you're watching. I am right now, and also saw a big upset in tennis just a short time ago with Jasmine Paolini absolutely throttling Iga Swiatek this morning, 6-1, 6-2. So that was a pretty good match. And there were some other good matches today too. Coco Gauff rolled, Sabalenka rolled, and Pegula rolled, and Paolini, she might win the whole thing. So thank you for joining me here on the show on a Friday. We're not going to be here for very long. We don't get much going on other than those few games. So just thought I'd say hi to everyone in the chat and see what's going on here on a Friday. Getting ready for a big sports. Oh my goodness, Peasy was here. Is he here? Was he here? Is he still here? Thank you, Peasy. Nice to see you in there, running so hot. Sports made money, and we make money betting with sports money every single day. Nuke Worker says, good morning. Thank you, Nuke. Joe W's here. Blue is here today as well. We'll find something for Blue to bet on. Cliff Lloyd is here. Nice to see Cliff here today as well. We'll get rolling here with the show. I don't know how many people are going to roll in, so let me just try to draw it out a little bit more and talk about the action from Thursday. We definitely saw some great action there yesterday, and we saw some disappointing action too, didn't we? There, the Dodgers, well, I don't want to say disappointing, but for the Phillies there for sure. A little bit of an error there at the end of the game, kind of sent the Dodgers to the National League Championship Series. The winning run scored on an error on the ball hit back to the pitcher. Hey, he was hit hard, man. Are you sure that wasn't a base hit? I had a prop, actually. I actually had a prop on Baez there. I think they gave it an error, but that sent the Dodgers to the National League Championship Series starting on Monday. The game was scoreless after 6 innings. We definitely saw some deal in there, as we talked about a little bit with Sanchez and Glass. Now, I thought the bullpens would blow up and we'd get outstanding pitching to start, but the bullpen did pretty well as well for the Dodgers. Both teams got a run in the 7th, and it took to the 11th inning for the Dodgers to get that win last night and advance to the National League Championship Series. So the champs still rolling here pretty much, and they did it with Glass now there over Sanchez eventually, and the strong bullpen work of both teams. But the Dodgers got it done 2-1. Also, Cubs with a good Matt Boyd. He got the first 14 outs, allowed just 2 hits. Ian Happ hit a 3-run home run in the first inning. Peralta had owned him coming in, and they'll go to Game 5 with the Cubs and the Brewers. Could the Cubs channel back in 1984 when the Cubs were the team up 2-0 and they blew a series? And now they were down 2-0 and they could come back to win that series after the 5-0 victory for the Cubs over Peralta there yesterday. Also, how about we had a good time last night with the guys with the Thursday night football game between the Giants and the Eagles, as the Giants rolled the Eagles 34-17. Some key injuries on the Eagles defense really allowed the Giants to put it together nicely there, especially in the first half, as the Giants scored 20 points and had nearly 200 yards in the first half. The Eagles, the second half, could not score. They had 2 turnovers, including that pick 6, and the Giants ran all over the Eagles. 39 carries for 172 yards. Giants were 11 of 16 on third down with Jackson Dart looking sharp. And the Eagles were just 1 of 9 on third down. And how about Cam Scatterbo? Ran the ball 19 times for 98 yards. They tried to put him in there to get a couple more yards, but did have 3 touchdowns. And, well, the Giants have 2-1 with Dart at quarterback. Barkley, 12 carries, 58 yards, not awful, but no big explosive plays from Barkley. And the Eagles have been outstatted in all 6 games so far this season. So uncharacteristic there, a second loss in a row. I'm sure the Eagles will regroup. We did give the over yesterday here on the show with the Eagles and the Giants. Pretty easy winner there yesterday. A lot of folks we know were on the under, but I went over in that one. And, well, maybe I didn't see it going that way, but we definitely had plenty of points in the game thanks to the Giants, and they were impressive. All right, and there was college football last night as well. We saw some pretty good games, actually, out of the group of games last night, including Kennesaw State. They got the win 35-7. That was the game that was not close. We did have the under here on the show yesterday in the 35-7 win for Kennesaw. Dexter Williams, 284 yards and 4 touchdown passes, and Kennesaw shut out Louisiana Tech in the second half. 35-7 win. Kennesaw, one of the most improved teams in the country. No doubt about that. Also, it was Jacksonville State over Sam Houston, 29-27. The Gamecocks kicked a 52-yard field goal at the buzzer for the road win. Jackson State had 500 yards of total offense and won the game. They ran the ball 63 times for 370 yards. They did not cover the spread. Sam got the money there in that one. Tulane beat East Carolina 26-19. The Green Wave drove 75 yards and scored the winning touchdown with 35 seconds left. Tulane led 12-0 at halftime. East Carolina came all the way back to tie it at 19, and then Tulane got that score. They outgained ECU 450-340, but had 100 yards in penalties. In the game, it landed kind of on the number there at 7. Maybe there were 6.5. Maybe there were 7.5 out there. Landed very close to that number there last night, East Carolina and Tulane. But we did have a premium pick winner there on the Win Club with the under in that game between East Carolina and Tulane. All right, and also it was Southern Miss over Georgia Southern. 38-35. The Golden Eagles led 28-7 at halftime and had to hold on. At the end, Southern Miss had 184 yards on the ground. Georgia Southern 3 turnovers, 12 penalties, and that was enough for Southern Miss to get the win there yesterday in that one, 38-35. NHL wild night of action. We did bring home a few winners yesterday. We had a winner there in the Chicago and Boston game yesterday. Also had a winner with the Rangers and Buffalo game to go under. We also had Ottawa on the puck line here on the show yesterday, and also had a few other winners here as well. It wasn't awful, that's for sure. We had Minnesota and St. Louis to go over yesterday. Also a winner, Columbus and Nashville game to go under. Mikey Money had that premium as well. And we also had a Colorado game to go under yesterday against Utah as a winner here on the show. And late night we had Seattle over Anaheim, taking care of business there in that one. So NHL 14 games yesterday, and well, what'd they do to us? No games today because they just played 14 games yesterday, I guess, is the reason why. They'll have a huge card on Saturday night. So, all right, and not much going on in soccer as well. It's an international weekend, so you got more World Cup qualifying here today. In fact, some of it underway right now, especially most of it all in Africa here at this point, but there will be some European action as well, some top teams in action such as Germany, France also in action today, and a couple of CONCACAFs as well. So that was a little bit of a recap for the action there yesterday. And, hey, you can get more picks from me when you go to winnable.com/Ramon. There's Joe Tasai. They're showing him there on the screen there, enjoying the Nets game. All right. Go over to winnable.com/Ramon, and you can get more picks from me here every day. In fact, if you'd like, you can type in anything into the chat and be one of the chat all-stars, and you might win 1 month of those plays. Had some definite decent winners here yesterday and overnight with the free picks as well. So hopefully you were able to join me on a few picks there. Like I said, we had the under in East Carolina and Tulane there yesterday for a winner, and then some other of those NHL winners: Pittsburgh Islanders over, Boston, Chicago over, as I mentioned, the Nashville Predators as well. So check me out there at winnable.com/Ramon. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off those premium pick packages. All right, let's say hello to a few more folks in the chat, and let's just try to get the show moving and see who else is here. Bobby Mack is here. Blue, he's the LGBT movement, which, what did they say on that meme? It stands for lottery, gambling, bookmaking, and oh man, what was it? I saw it, but I hope it didn't offend anybody by saying that. But there was some funny meme out there as the letters were slanted to make gambling references and said, we're all LGBT. Lottery, gambling. I can't remember what it was. Good morning to D Money as well. Nuke says, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Elliot was bummed about the ECU final there, and yeah, man, I was on ECU and was hoping just to get the money there at least. And there's Elliot. He had it that right way. Blues ready in China. Trevor's here as well, and there's Justin as well in the chat. Man, we're almost ready to go here. We might as well get ready to go for the show. Maybe I can call up the YouTube chat here and get the algorithm going to see who's number one today. Try to bring some content into the show. We don't really have a lot of games to talk about. I mean, So I'll need your help here. Let's go with it right now and just get started. We got the big baseball game tonight, so get into it here right now. And heck, all of a sudden, despite all the woes and all the problems and all the disaster that was the Detroit Tigers, here they are all of a sudden in yet another elimination game, and well, they've got one of the best pitchers in baseball to try to save them again here. So as woeful as it was down the stretch for Detroit with those consecutive losses, with all those losses together, they've actually come through and been clutch in all these recent games, right? To get into the playoffs, to win the first series, to there. So maybe, just maybe, Detroit can do it again here and advance to the next round against Seattle. They are going to be favored here, obviously, with Skubal. You could do worse, I guess, than have George Kirby on the mound for the big game if you are Seattle, but you're definitely still at a disadvantage with the starting pitching. Maybe. There's certainly something to be said for Skubal on the road. He certainly is not quite the same. In fact, he's had a couple of rough outings. I don't know about rough, but maybe touched a little bit against Seattle on the road in the past, but not like Kirby. In fact, Kirby's got some rugged numbers coming in against some of these Detroit bats. Kirby has a 295 batting average and 1.02 OPS against this expected lineup, 78 at bats, 23 hits here. You've got some guys in here that have hit Kirby pretty well. Kerry Carpenter owns George Kirby. 4 for 8 with 4 home runs for Kerry Carpenter. And you've got a few others as well. Torkelson's 2 for 5. Riley Green has a home run. Perez has a home run as well. And Skubal pretty much does pretty well against the Seattle lineup, although J.B. Crawford 4 for 5 with a double, and J-Rod home run in 8 at-bats and a walk. But there's also some dominating pitching as well for these guys. You do have Javi Baez just 1 for 11 against Kirby. McKinstry 1 for 7 against Kirby. Garber 2 for 14, but with a home run against Skubal. Naylor 1 for 9 against Skubal. So see what you got here in this one. It still feels like Skubal and Kirby can deal. I mean, we're in Seattle here. You see the total there, 5.5 over 20. We're also seeing a little bit of movement here too. Detroit just within the last couple of minutes, it feels like. I'm showing some books, DraftKings starting to peak over $1.30 at $1.31 here right now. Let's go to the chat and see what you guys have in this one between the Tigers and the Mariners tonight, and this big game number 5 should be awesome. And, you know, maybe under first 5 might be my call here in this one. Skubal still, however you look at it, I mean, he's 22-11. I don't care how big of a favorite he was. That's a profitable pitcher for sure so far this season in Tarik Skubal. He's got obviously a low whip, high strikeout rate, tremendous command. We know all that. I mean, they don't need me to recite it to you, but I will anyway, since we only got one game in baseball. 2.19 ERA, 0.88 the whip, 197 batting average against. And like I said, that 22-11 record. For Kirby, he's 10-8. Seattle's 13-11 with Kirby on the mound. And he has a 4.19 ERA, 1.19 whip, 254 batting average against, and a 319 BABIP. Really didn't quite get it going there this season, missing, starts kind of early in the year. By the time he got rolling around the rotation, his elite control really hasn't been quite as crisp late in the season. It's also given up some hard contact, like I said, to some of these guys. So let's go to the chat. I see a lot of comments piling up here. Phoenix has been on a comeback here a little bit in this baseball game. All right. AOD is here in the chat. And I think Kripke's saying this is a crazy basketball game here. I think that's what he's saying. Thank you to AOD. Tigers and under here for Elliot. Mariners over team total for Justin Kripke. I don't know if the basketball game's the 1-800-GAMBLER game. Justin says Mariners Tigers over. Can't stand the 5.5. You got to go over, says Justin here. No matter how you look at it, it's hard to go under a number like that. Here's Nuke. He's on Scooble in this one. Justin likes Carpenter over in his total bases there with that dominating, no doubt dominating numbers against Kirby there. Man, what did we say it was? 4 for 8? 4 for 8 with 4 home runs and 7 RBI, 3 strikeouts though. All right, Elliot says they played under the total in 3 of the last 4 here. And thank you, Blue. Appreciate you. Justin here says Polanco also looks like a target guy kind of there. Over 1.5 bases at a big plus money there. Robert likes the over also. T-Bird's here today. Hi, T-Bird. And Eric says he got Detroit Moneyline and good morning. Justin says that line is moving. Oh, he says it's moving to the Mariners. Okay, I stand corrected here because, yeah, it definitely is off the openers. You have maybe as much as a 5 cents or so. Yep. Okay, Detroit money line here for T-Bird. He says also first and second inning, no score in the game. And okay, you guys are talking about the over. Let me get into it. Let me make sure I clean those up then. If there was some discrepancy or accident in the chat there with the overall numbers, I think we can at least clean that up here a little bit and get the right trends in there. I think I have them here. I didn't really write them down for a playoff game like that. Kind of get into it all the time. But Detroit's gone under in 8 of their last 12, right? You guys are saying they went over. Let me make sure there. You guys are going to be right over me, that's for sure. I didn't even compile the hardcore trends here in this one, so I'll just take Justin's word for it there for sure. Peek at it though here and see 9-3 there in the last game, of course, and then 8-4. Remember? Oh boy, yep, and 3-2 and 3-2. Remember we started the series 3-2 and 3-2. I remember now. So, man, it's hard to believe we're coming down to that fifth and deciding game here. So, I think more it's been under when Detroit has gone on the road, right? Detroit actually has gone under in 8 of their last 12. They've also gone under in 8 of their last 10 on the road. Seattle's gone under in 4 of their last 5 at home. But here we are back in Seattle. 4 of the last 5 at home for Seattle had gone under, right? The first 2 games went under. Okay, I think I got it all clear now. So maybe it will be a low-scoring start again. I mean, could it, with Scooble and Kirby, couldn't it be 1-1 or something after the first 5 innings? I kind of like the first 5 innings under here, but I'm going to go ahead and I'll be a little bit tougher on this. I'm going to go ahead and go under at 5.5 here in this one. A dramatic game here tonight, maybe 3-2 for me. I'm going to take the under. I know it seems it's tough, man, to try to do that, but the first 5 total, I believe, is 3, and I probably would still be willing to do that too. So Detroit just 2-6 their last 8 versus Seattle, but got the 2 wins when they needed it, right? And I think the Tigers lineup, man, they're showing good contact and plate discipline here in the series. So they're going to be live here. I know they're a favorite, but okay, we'll see here. Let me go to the chat and wrap this one up. Our featured game of the night for sure. Okay, Phoenix Suns for Will. It took him in the middle of the game here. And let's see. Yeah, LA guy. Yeah, no problem. I understand, but the two games definitely went over there the other night. But I think at this venue, I think these two teams have kind of had the unders. But it's not 5.5. We know it's usually like 7, even maybe 7.5 a little bit. We know that Seattle totals are, kind of usually 7, right? Maybe some 7.5s in there. Robert says he'll just go over every time. He put that 5.5 in front of him, I think is what he's saying. All right. And let's see here. I think that might. Oh, Sonny, thank you, Sonny. Yesterday the skies were full. Thank you, Sonny. It's ready to go. And I think that might be it, but that is a great one. Let's see what it will say. Did you put that NBA preseason that's on right now? I did not have a release in the game. I definitely was on a show last night talking about this game, but kind of was talking up Brooklyn pretty good. I don't know if they'll hang on. I didn't do anything here publicly with the game though. And it's getting cold. It's getting cold everywhere. It's 69 right now here in Vegas. The weather has changed. We're the football weather now. First 3 under says blue. All right, that's going to be a good one tonight. The big game, or is it the big? It's the big game for sure. But we also have another big game tonight in the WNBA, don't we? Game number 4, and we want some more women's basketball, don't we? As Phoenix has come back to tie this game up. Right now, all the momentum is with Phoenix. They should have a much better roster, but Brooklyn got off to a great start. But Phoenix is playing aggressive right now. All right, let's get into this one here with the Aces taking on the Mercury. And this could be it. And especially, wow, what a bummer for the Mercury here. Pretty big injury in Game 3, right near the end of the game. Satou Sabally was injured and got a concussion, and she's going to miss the game tonight. You're talking about one of the best players in the game for sure, one of Phoenix's best players here. It really, I want to say, in a way, pardon me, hasn't really affected the spread, because if you look at this game, 3 right now, I mean, that's almost a repeat of what it was last game. In fact, it might have even been a little bit higher last game. And we know it came right down, to the wire there for sure on the money. So, but this is a big absence, I think. Now, maybe because of the added pressure of a game number 4 where you're facing elimination, maybe that's where the gap is closed a little bit, the margin there a little bit on the spread, right? Because it went all the way up to 4.5 last game and ended up a 2-point game, and it went over again. Man, these guys are on an overrun for sure. All 3 went over so far. Previous games this season went over. The 2 previous games went over. So basically they're on an over streak, but it does feel like you would think generally, right, that the Aces, if they were 4.5 and it landed 2, maybe 3 is the right number. But Sabally is definitely a player that I would think would be worth more than 1 or 2 points in this situation, maybe even more. I mean, the way that the benches kind of thin out a little bit in the WNBA, I'm not sure that I can agree with this line staying a little bit close there because of just because it's game number 4, Phoenix's back is to the wall. Isn't that the way I'm seeing it? Are you seeing it that way? It's big pressure. You don't think teams are going to get swept out of here. So what do you guys have? Do you have it as a sweep? I'm showing the game actually 3.5 right now. And the total there is wrong, though. It's definitely 163.5. That was a typo. I don't think it was ever 165. But let's go to the chat. and see how you guys have it in this one. WNBA here, game number 4. Here we go in the chat. All right. There we go. Okay. Will says he'll take Seattle. Oh, in the baseball game there. Thank you. Justin does like the over here today. And Aces money line today, tomorrow, and next. Will says it's over, basically. Justin's got AT for a triple double. Elliot is on the Aces here in this one. And the over. Blue is on the Aces money line. Will says Mercury first half to stay in there. But then the Aces come back and get the full game. You know what I did end up playing? I was on a show last night and talking about the game a little bit. Now, kind of like the Aces here in this one, and I'm going to take them here on the show. So let me lay 3.5. But I did take the Aces. I took Aces, kind of stretched out the number a little bit, and I took the Aces at by 3 to 6 points at plus 435. And then for a little bit smaller play, I took the Aces by 1 or 2 points at 12 to 1. So I'm covering basically 1 through 6, and I've got more money on the 3 to 6 point range. And then if the 1 or 2 point range hits, that's pretty good too. So that's the way I kind of played the game myself. But on the show here, I'll give out Las Vegas. Maybe they'll get that 4, 5, or 6. You're covered by 3, 4, 5, and 6 if you can get that bet. I got it offshore at plus 435. Las Vegas to win by 3, 4, 5, or 6. And then backed it up with a little bit of 1 to 2 points there. So I thought that was a good play, but kind of agree. Justin said that, these overs here a little bit. Why wouldn't it? I mean, what was the score at halftime the other night? Like 50 to 45 or something like that. Robert says Aces here. Lay it. Mercury for Crip Key. And Justin says that's going to hurt with no Sabali here. Yeah, it does seem like with a concussion, you're pretty much out of this game. So, okay. So I'll take Vegas as my official play here on the Morning Steam Show. Will says it'll be a blowout without Sabali in there. It happened late in the game. So, it was right before, if I'm not mistaken, it was right before the 5-second, the last shot. It was either 1 or 2 possessions right before that. They might have had one possession in there that ended up the one that tied the game, right? I'm trying to remember now, but she went off the court, and it was a bit of a stunner at that time. She was, kind of covering her head a little bit. So it was a little bit rough to see. Okay. Well, I think that's going to do it there for the WNBA. And Elliot says, what do you mean offshore? Yeah, there's like some sports books, Elliot, that, now we don't. Here's the funny thing about it, right, Elliot? I take it for granted. I'm like, what is Elliot saying? He's never heard of offshore. But, you think about the proliferation of betting here in this country, right? We don't even Okay, we're back. I think we're back. We're getting our signal back here. We're at hopefully I'm coming through. Just let me know. I still see some issues here uh, with some of my devices. So I think I'm back on here though right now, and well, we might just move on from the WNBA game. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, I think we're back here a little bit, but man, I think all my half the devices aren't going here. Okay, but hopefully we can get it back here real quick. Okay, hopefully you're hearing me. I feel like everything's coming back online here. Get my line service going too. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, I'll just continue here looking real quick. Okay, didn't hear anything there. Okay, you heard about the? Oh, okay, you were talking offshore books. Okay, yeah. So take it for granted, right, that some people still play offshore because there's so many ways to play locally, and we used to have to bet with some offshore books here, and well, that's just the way it was. So I still kind of hang on to some of those books, and there is even an argument to be made that some of the offshore books, maybe some of the major players, a little bit. I know that they have their own bad raps sometimes, but a lot of times, you can, especially at some of the big boys, be able to get those bets off that you need still. That, the domestic books are, they're a little bit more interested in the recreational player a little bit. So I think that some people still go offshore, at some of those books. So sorry the interruption there, but hopefully that covered that. I kind of forget. Yeah, we were getting taken off the air there for that. But no, I think people still do it. You talk about some of those offshore books. I would say this on that, Elliot, is that there are some places out there. I think some that we can mention, like uh, um, bookmaker review, where you can see, like, and I think just a simple chat query nowadays also can help you sort out the difference between domestic books and the offshore books. And you got to be careful on all, on some of them, but there are some that are still pretty huge. I mean, no doubt about it, and still very reputable. I know there are a lot of complainers out there, and no one. You're always going to hear about closing accounts and things like that. But remember, no book wants people taking a shot at them, right? Okay, here we go. I don't even know if I'm still going to make it through here. It feels like let me run through these picks real quick, you guys, just in case we get knocked off the air again. Everything's dragging here a little bit. So let me go quickly into the college football tonight real quick, and I'll just kind of recite the plays here. Maybe try to give out a little bit of information for to support my pick, but it just feels like everything is every time I look up, my basketball game here is swirling, the spinning wheel of death a little bit. So let me talk about it here real quick. South Florida and North Texas here tonight. I like the over here in this one. Marquee American Conference showdown. Two explosive teams for sure here tonight. You've got to think they're going to be fireworks here. North Texas has won 5 straight to open the season. They've covered 9 of their last 10 as an underdog in the month of October. Right now they're averaging 45 points a game. Is North Texas, led by freshman quarterback Drew Mestamaker. Remember, he did play in the bowl game last year, but I think he's a freshman right now. He's got 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. USF comes in 4-1, but North Texas has been dominant at home. They kind of match up evenly with them in yardage. It's a toss-up game. Pretty much coming in right now in the total 67. Both teams rank in the top 20 in pace, if you will. The Bulls defense giving up over 400 yards per game. 4 of their last 5 on the road have gone over, dating back to last year. I think this one's going to be crazy. And I think 67, that seems like a little bit of room to play with. I think they can get 70 points here in this game, and I'm going to go over tonight with South Florida and North Texas. Go ahead and respond, you guys. We're going to go a little bit quickly here because of maybe a little bit of technical problem, but it seems like we're okay. Kripke's glad there's not 14 hockey games. Well, I think one thing is a little bit like, when you play offshore, for example, a lot of times when you're sending money over the first time, you guys like sometimes they take a credit card, but usually you got to go like with a cryptocurrency, which is fine for a lot of people who are kind of into crypto nowadays. I wouldn't have never known how to send some crypto, but even I know how to do it. Okay, Will says the NHL's ready to go. Before there was good old freedom. Does feel like I'm glad. I was watching one of the markets last night, kind of in real time. I don't know if you guys are into this, but they had the announcement of the Nobel Peace Prize last night, and everybody was thinking, well, Donald Trump, he just solved the Gaza war yesterday. They'll give it to him, but really the nominations ended in January, so it was actually a woman from Venezuela who's in hiding right now because she is an opposition party leader against Maduro. And by the time the announcement rolled around, she was 25 cents on the dollar to win the Nobel Peace Prize last night. And Trump was like, you could win he was a big time underdog, 50-1, I think, by the time the last 15 minutes before the announcement was made. And this woman from Venezuela won the Nobel Peace Prize. But so one of the things that's happening rapidly here right now in the United States, it's going to bypass all the laws because the prediction markets are pretty much getting the go-ahead. You have Trump's son. He's on the board of two different market makers, those Kalshi types and a Poly Market. These guys are getting into sports betting now. I call it sports betting, sports trading, market trading. And so these markets are also, they're a little bit different. They work a little bit different, but a lot of times on these also the juice that you pay is severely reduced because in order to kind of stay legal, they kind of got to, not take away the bookmaker fee. You're doing a transaction fee. Usually it's just like 1%, and you're actually trading with other people. It was like, so say Justin and I in the game, for example, say he likes the over in the game and I like the under. We don't know each other, but we just trade with other people. The market's all there, and then the transaction happens. You don't know. You're just betting with somebody else, and these markets are totally emerging right now in the United States. You're hearing more and more about them, and people are using them every day. In fact, I include them in the betting process when I'm looking up the odds. I make sure I look at Kalshi and things like that because they have the betting markets right in these betting exchange. I'm rambling on now that the internet's all working again, but you can go in there and look at like the pro football, and it looks a little bit different. But like here's Denver and the Jets, for example, on the market down there, and you see how it works there. Where Denver, a big favorite there, I think you get 23 cents on the dollar, and the Jets are opposite. And then look at some of these goofy things, right? Look, what will the announcers say during the Philadelphia New York game tonight? Will they say stuff? Will they say concussion protocol? They probably would with Dart last night, but you can see all the different games are kind of listed there, spread and total. See, and this is a totally different type of market. Okay, hey, it's a slow day. We're talking a little bit different. We're talking about some different things here, but we're in college football too. Let's keep going. right now. Hopefully that was some interesting conversation with you guys. And yeah, I used to bet. I can remember the first ones I used to bet with Bowman International, and you'd call up the ladies there and in England. And then later on, it was I think they moved to another country, and they said, "Thank you for calling Bowman International. This is Stephanie. How can I help you?" And I'd like to look at game number 183, Ohio State and Illinois. Yes, Mr. Scott, you've got Ohio State favored by 14 and a half. Total 51. And then you'd say your pick, and then at the end you'd have to say like your little code number to confirm the bet. How was my accent of the English lady? North Texas here for Robert. South Florida for Will. So they played a tougher schedule. Kripke, Thomas has stopped by once in a while. He's busy in his life. Rutgers in North Texas for Kripke. Elliott's on North Texas and over. Nuke is on North Texas. See, Will, it was right. Look, you can't even bet. And here's the dumbest thing about that, Will, right? The reason why it's just because of the optics, and they make it, so it looks like, hey, we don't want student athletes betting on these games. With legal betting, technically we're already tracking everyone who bets. You got to usually sign up, put your ID. That's why they're all getting caught too, because they're not smart enough to figure it out. But maybe they are, and that's why some we don't know. But usually it's totally obvious to anyone that why we expose the guys really. But just optics, right? There's no reason why you shouldn't. If you can bet on Notre Dame, if you can bet on Florida State, you should be able to bet on Rutgers. They just think it's closer. The guys are closer to the action, so maybe they can rig it a little better. Remember, no sportsbook is going to take in a guy who comes in there with like a bucket full of money and goes, "Hey, I want to bet on Rutgers to lose." It was kind of like remember the guy from Alabama baseball, and he sent that message to that other guy, and he's like, "Hey, I want to bet $25,000 on Arkansas baseball." And they're like, and then like, "Hey, you guys want to bet 25? We take like $100 on these games, right? College baseball. I'd say it like that. They probably take it, maybe a nickel on some if it's a big game or something like that. Big SEC teams or something. But totally red flag. And then the guy's like talking to the guy at the desk. No, the guy told me the pitcher's not going to be in. Okay, whatever. All right. And yeah, got to get some crypto. Not today, though. I don't think the crypto's hanging on here today. But you leave the crypto in there, and then maybe you can get lucky and make some money on some of the days. I think the crypto's going up today. I think I'm in the green on the crypto today. There a little bit. The crypto going up. All right. Yeah. Elliot, no, I didn't. I thought we'd be stuck, and I'd be like, oh, man. And you know what? I came to Las Vegas because I thought, I want to be there at the center. But you know what? The markets in California aren't bad either. It's just that there's no legal markets there. But you can bet offshore in California pretty much, and then you can bet with almost every state. I'm in Nevada, and you can bet with this Kalshi. They're trying to stop it, but they're not going to be able to. Mostly because of the Trump family being involved in that type of business somehow with one of the sons. Like I said, he's on the board of two of those. Okay. I think that's it from the comments there. Let me move on to the next game. I know I'm really rambling here today, but we don't get a lot going on. It's Friday. So Fresno State and Colorado State coming in here. I would expect this one to be a bit more of a grind than that last one. Fresno State has won 5 straight games after their 0-1 loss, but the Bulldogs' offense has kind of cooled a little bit. They're producing 35 fewer yards per game than their opponents allow on average. So maybe it could be tough here against the Colorado State team, but Colorado State's gone under in 8 of their last 9 games at home because they can't score when they get in the red zone. They struggle on the offensive line, and they can't seem to fight their way in for the touchdowns. And they've also given up 14 sacks this season. So I think Fresno's defense probably should control the game here, actually. And I like them to keep rolling right now. I think going up here, against the Colorado State team that is 1-4 right now. I'm going to go with Fresno State here in this one. I'm going to lay it on the road. It's tough in Fort Collins. I know that. And that, if you look back at that first Fresno game and you're like, yeah, they didn't look, but since then they pretty much have looked pretty good. I know their offense, it hasn't quite gotten going this season, with Warner, but Colorado State, I believe Nicolosi Fowler is questionable for this game. Maybe even doubtful. Let me peek at it here real quick. I mean, that's a pretty big. I mean, this guy's been around for a couple years. That was as of yesterday at noon. So, unless you guys have some additional information on Fowler Nicolosi, I mean, that seems like a pretty, a serious deal. I mean, you probably want this guy in the game, it feels like. I mean, he's been, a starting quarterback here now for quite a while. So no doubt with him in there, they'll have to go to Brousseau in there. He was in there last game against San Diego State, 155 yards on 7 of 13 and 1 touchdown, no interceptions. San Diego State rocked Colorado State in that game. So, Warner hasn't been great, but they got some great backs in Donaldson and Luke. I mean, that's what Fresno does. They're going to run the ball for sure. They've got more weapons, I think, as well. I'm going to take Fresno State, lay 7 here on the road, maybe even seeing some 6.5s here right now. All right, let's take a look here at a few more right now. Oh my gosh, thank you to Jimbo. Thank you, Jim. Oh man, that's awesome. Thank you for the super sticker there. Here's Elliot, Fresno State, and under. Nuke is on Colorado State. I know what you mean, Nuke. No problem. I know you meant Colorado State there. Jimbo, thanks a lot, man. Robert here on the under. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I try to bring you some winners. I know I kind of come at it from a news perspective too, but that's the way I handicap. I like to read about the teams. I like to read about what the, some storylines a little bit. I think it's important in sports betting. Okay, man, Phoenix is really going off on these guys here all of a sudden. They might cover the spreads. They just hit a big 3. There's 89-84 right now. All right, one more game here tonight, and at least we got some big-time Big Ten. I don't know if it's big time, but it's Washington, and Washington's look pretty interesting too. A cross-country clash, no doubt about it. This one, I would think, should have a little more offense than that. We're going offense, defense, because Rutgers has gone over in 8 straight and 12 of their last 13 games coming in. Washington's gone over in 6 of their last 8 coming in. The Huskies don't lose at home. They've actually won 19 of their last 20 games in Seattle, and their offense is pretty explosive right now. They come in 4-1. Rutgers has done a nice job. Rutgers' offense under Kaliakmanis has been productive, quietly productive maybe. They're off of a bye. So I think Rutgers can get some points here, I think, in this one, and maybe hang in there. But I think eventually Washington, I'm going to trust them to pull away. I think I like Washington here at minus. It's up to, oh gosh, look at some of the, I'm showing 11.5 at stations right now. Oh my goodness. I know I can shop and go to Circa here in Vegas and lay 10 at minus 115. I always say I like to give the worst of the line though. So let me go ahead. I'll say 11.5, but I know that I'll come on here tomorrow if they win it by 11 and say, I told you so. Right? We can do that. We know what the lines are. We know how to line shop. We've got those offshore books. I'm going to go ahead and take Washington here they'll win it by 12 or more, I'll say, just to make sure. But Rutgers has done a nice job. I just think, West Coast travel for them, a Friday night game. I'm not saying, it's Friday night, Saturday night. I don't know if there's a real big difference on a college situation here, but I'm going to go ahead and take Washington and lay it. Let me hear from you guys in the chat in this one. And let's see here, Colorado State for Chosen one in that game with Fresno. Chosen was going to be riding with me with Washington. Elliott's on Washington as well. I'm going to take Washington here. I think we could see this one. I mean, it's play. 60 here, I think, 60 and a half right now. And hey, you know what? We could see some points there higher than that. I think I'm on the square sides here. I think in this one, I'm showing the public pretty heavy on Washington and the over here. So probably a little bit square. Yeah, Will says, I wish I could use Circa. Yeah, there's no doubt. Circa, it's funny because you think of all the book, if it, especially comparatively to offshore, where I can go on we're on the Sports Money Network. I could say it here. Go on like a Bovada, and you got all the options in the world, right? I just talked about, hey, I'm going to play this game minus, land on 1 or 2, and then I'm going to land it on 4, 5, or 6. If you look at the menu on Circa, it's not really that fancy. I mean, you don't really have that much. You look at a game, you look at pro football. I mean, they got some live betting once it goes around, but I can do a lot more betting on all kinds of things that you can't do on some of the Las Vegas books. But they figure a lot of people aren't real interested in those other games. And again, with the legal betting, it just becomes, the limits and everything like that. Terrell says, is that the one? Yeah, you go out to the pool, the women are out there, you're drinking. Hey, there's Subhuman Gaucho in the chat. We had a great time last night. Their Sub wasn't having a great time because Detroit lost that game. Where were we talking about the Red Wings last night? What else was going on there with Sub and I? I think we were. Yep. Yeah, Elliot. No, you know what? Those major books, although there is some duplication here with DraftKings, I believe the win. I don't know what the total relationship is there, but you don't have a book. You can't go to FanDuel or DraftKings on your apps, for example. Like the apps that I use here in Vegas, I use Circa. I use Stations, which is STN Sports. That one I really like. I also use the South Point. Those are my 2 home books. The STN, that's at the Green Valley Ranch, and I also use the South Point here. And also I use a Bet MGM, and then I use a new one that I just got hooked up with called Boomers Sportsbook. And it's a kind of a local, and I'm liking their menu so far. All right. And there's Sub. Yeah, that's what it was, right? All right. Look, Bill says, put money on Rutgers, right? And Will, I would say, I don't know, check your jurisdiction though on those, because I know they're not in every state, and I think they're saying maybe New Jersey's one of them. So I apologize if I make you do some groundwork, but check out those prediction markets. Maybe I'll look to see. Maybe in New Jersey they don't have, but Kalshi and there's some others as well. So you might actually be able to bet with them. I think, like I said, they really can't stop them right now, and they're not gonna. It looks like. Okay, I think that's it for that game, and I think that is it for the. Well, let's do some NBA real quick. Just let's go over the games. We already talked about this one that's underway here right now, and Brooklyn's still battling here, 94-91 in this one. 9:41 to go. It's nice to have some basketball going on here. Hey, here we go tonight in the NBA. We've got the Celtics taking on the Raptors here. You got the Raptors. I think the Celtics actually moved. Nope, still Raptors minus 1.5. Might be easy to just say, hey, the Raptors at home, might be looking to get a win over the Celtics. The Celtics might not be totally motivated here. And, given their situation, maybe they're going to pace themselves a little bit. Toronto, maybe a little bit of chemistry they're trying to work in here. But I'm actually going to take the Celtics in this one. I think for me here, Celtics did win that preseason opener by 18 points. Meanwhile, Toronto does have a loss. They were tight, competitive games. Celtics allowed 103 points in their first game. Toronto their offense hasn't been terrific, I would say, in those first two games. So even short minutes from some core guys there may be enough. And this is a high total, but I'm going to go ahead and take Boston in this one over Toronto today. I think Toronto might be popular, but I'm going to be a little bit contrarian here in this one. Okay, Orlando and Philadelphia. Let me move the odds here. Oh, Sub was the one fighting championships just now there. Oh, boy, I should have caught that there. Oh, my gosh, well, I got to see that. Man. Okay. And Sub, I'll promote your winnable here. Do you those plays yet to go up? I know you had some action. You talked about it last night on the game. And if you're a subscriber of Subs over there at winnable.com, I know we had some one championship as live on YouTube. Great, Sub. Thank you. Give me something to do here on a Friday morning. Okay, great, Sub. Good job on the winner there. You can make sure you get Sub's plays over there at the Win Club. I'm so glad we got Sub on board with it. It's a great platform for us to distribute the picks. I mean, that's just the way I'm looking at it. And Sub's on there now too. So we got the whole gang. I was on, I said, hey, this is a great idea, you guys. Look, I mean, we can offer an inexpensive product. Like I said, 50 cents a day when you subscribe to my Winnable over there for 1 month. And this is how you support me here on the channel and Sub 2 and all of us guys here. I know that, it's not the most popular thing, but I think it's worked out great. I'm so proud to have all the subscribers that I do. Really thankful for you guys. Keep me coming here every day to do the show. Okay, a couple more here real quick. Let's take a look. Orlando and Philadelphia. And in this one, you got Orlando here. They look sharp in their lone preseason outing so far. They scored 126 points and a 126-118 win. The Sixers are 0-2. I mean, who knew? Preseason, regular season, doesn't matter. The Sixers are looking crummy again. They've allowed 118 points in their 2 games so far. That's one of the worst in the league. I mean, I know we've only played 1 or 2 games, but they're 0-2 and probably look like the worst team in the league here right now. So I think with Orlando here, they'll probably have the depth in this one too with younger guys. Maybe they're treating this a little more seriously. They would look from that first game. Their effort level was high in that game. And Philadelphia, they're rotating out into marginal players heavily. So both teams have been playing at kind of a bit of a pace here so far in those games we've seen, but I'm going to take Orlando here in this one and lay the points with Orlo. Next up, real quick, Utah and San Antonio here. San Antonio favored by 6.5, and the total is 230 here. Oh boy, that went up. That went up overnight. Let me mark it down here, 230. And Spurs favored in this one. I'm actually going to take the Spurs in this game. San Antonio's 2-0 so far in the preseason. They're outscoring opponents by 18 points per game. Utah's 0-1. They gave up 130 points in that first outing. Spurs are putting out a young lineup, and they're executing. They've definitely been scoring here so far in those 2 games, and like I said, they've outscored them so far by 18 points in the 2 games, an average of 9 points, beating their opponent. In Utah, meanwhile, has kind of looked out of sync defensively for sure. So I think the Spurs are playing a little bit cohesive here already, and right now Utah's defense might not stop them. I'm going to go with San Antonio here, especially if this total is going up. Give me San Antonio here and lay 6.5. All right, and one more. Don't see anything from the comments in the chat. I know it's NBA preseason, so let me just take a look here at one more. Sacramento and Portland here tonight. I like Portland. Sacramento's 0-1. They gave up 130 points in their preseason opener. Portland's also winless, but they at least showed flashes in that last game. Blazers gave up a ton of points too, so I would think there could be a lot of points actually here in this one. But I think the Blazers here took a little steam right now, and they're up to a 2-point favorite. Where's the graphic here? And I'm going to go ahead and take Portland here in this one. Right now, maybe it'll be a high-scoring game, actually. This total's actually gone up here to 228.5, so I figure it might even go over that tonight, but I'll take Portland as the play. And I think that's it for you guys in the chat. Looks like you guys are done with me. Oh, I got one other game here real quick. I got some CFL action here tonight, and this one between the Toronto Argonauts, and they're taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And the Riders are big 11-point favorites here right now. And the total is 50.5. There we go. The update was 10.5 there. So for me in this one, you got Rough Riders here, big favorite. They usually handle the business against Toronto, but they're usually not favored by this much. In fact, they've been dogs a few times, but Saskatchewan's still 6-1 against the spread. Their last 7 at home against Toronto. I think I'm going to take, you know what? I'm going to take, I'll go ahead and lay it with Saskatchewan. That's what I'm going to do. Give me the over here in this one between Toronto and Saskatchewan. I think that's going to do it. There it is. Nuke did it too. He said, go ahead and lay it. I kind of like the over, but you know what? I was doing a chat room earlier, and they were kind of on the under. I kind of respect that, but we'll say 7 of the last 9 meetings between the two have gone over, and 4 of the last 5 here in Saskatchewan between those two. Yep, Kripke, you got to pay attention, right? Otherwise, you're going to be ended up some boring long infomercial instead of Ramon. I always hate that, and I'm like, how much of the show did I just miss? I'm watching. Trying to think of some of those, the cookies there come up, and it gives you sometimes exactly not what you want or what you need, or maybe something you looked at before. It feels like. All right, Portland money line for Will in that one. Thanks, you guys. Really appreciate it. Let's do the drawing here real quick, and then we'll get on out of here. Thank you for joining me on the Morning Steam Show. We're back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Mikey's got you covered tonight, I think, with the baseball, the WNBA, the college football with pre-gaming at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 Pacific. Mikey will be here to give you the breakdown before the primetime action tonight. And don't forget, we do have our programming up here for this week with the First Strike. The guys have their previews for Saturday's card, and we're going to be here. So make sure you're ready to join us on Saturday night from Rio de Janeiro as we get ready for lightweights here with Charles Oliveira and Matus Gamrot. Lightweights do battle main event from Rio here this weekend. And I also want to note, you can also check out VB MMA Picks. We did our previews as well. So between First Strike and VB MMA Picks, that'll set you up for a fun card with us on Saturday night. Make sure you join us here for the card from Rio. And also on that card, you might remember a few weeks ago, we had UFC fighter Michael Aswell here on the Sports Money Network previewing some fights with us. On a card, one of his buddies was fighting, and so we had him on there breaking it down a little bit. But also, Aswell, we asked him about his career and his upcoming bout with Lucas Almeida, and that fight is this Saturday night. And Aswell's $1.50 favorite in that fight against against Almeida. So I'm really looking forward to Michael Aswell's fight. It's kind of in the middle of the card. I think it's right before that. Might be the last fight on the preliminary card, I think. And so that'll be fun. I really want to watch that with the guys this weekend. And a good card here from Brazil, Rio on Saturday. So make sure you join us here on the Sports Money Network.
It's your boy, Mikey Money. I'm inviting you to join the Sports Money crew on Winnable. Get all of our premium best bet selections.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays sent straight to your phone right when you need them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Okay, and let's do the drawing here real quick as well, and then we'll get on out of here and have a great Monday. And I'll have some premium picks out there. We're going to step it up here now with the college football coming here this weekend. We're going to have some big packages there. There's the there it is. Oh, well, look, we're make sure you type in your name, you guys. It looks like I'm a little late here to the party on this one, so let me give you another second or two to type something in there. If you didn't already, then we'll do the little drawing. I think I didn't get it punched up in time there, so let me just dial it up here, and then we'll get on out of here today. There we go. Thanks to everybody in the chat for some great comments today. And Kripke, like North Texas. Elliot, thank you. Sonny, what did he say? Spoomer Sportsbook. I'll be, what was he going to say? Where's the rest of it, Sonny? I want to know about Boomers. I've just joined them. And, yep, Jimmy Lambo, we all, said Scatabo, man. Sub said we rooting for Aswell. Yeah, Jimmy, that episode, I want to say was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we had Aswell on, and, we're asking about this fight and everything. Hello to AJ as well. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. I'll do the drawing right now. Hopefully it'll be okay. We only got 15 or 16, but it was a slow show, slow day. But tomorrow we'll have, think of all the games tomorrow we're going to preview. Let me tell you right now, I'm so far ahead here. I can tell you the games we're going to. Jimbo just won. How about that, Jimbo? I'll put another month on your subscription. You deserve it. Good job, Jimbo. I'm pretty sure Jimbo's in there with us, right? So, hey, tomorrow we're going to preview all these games, you guys. I think we got maybe a dozen games lined up. Pitt and Florida State, Alabama and Missouri, Iowa State and Colorado, ASU and Utah, Michigan and USC, BYU and Arizona, South Carolina, LSU, Ohio State and Illinois, TCU and Kansas State. Am I going to do all these games? Indiana and Oregon, Oklahoma and Texas, and Georgia and Auburn. So join me tomorrow. I think we're going to do all those. Maybe we'll kick one of those out a little bit. Oh, look at what Sub says here. This is great. Thank you. Thank you for that, Sub. As well to go over in his significant strikes. And, he might end up going the distance with Lucas Almeida, right? You've got a figure maybe in that division that I don't know if he has the overwhelming power to get him. So thank you, Stop Geo. Thank you to Nuke as well. And thank you to Sub for those comments. And you can get subscriptions as well over there at winnable.com. So glad that all the guys are kind of on board with that. Okay, guess that's going to do it, gang. Appreciate it again, and we'll be back tomorrow with more action. All right. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
One for cover, that's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to